it's Yolanda here. Today I'm going to do a little channeling for you. Rather than me ask a question and channel the answer, I'm just going to hand over to my team and see what they have to say. Hello to you on this day. It is a very good day. Even if it doesn't feel so. For there is always a positive and a negative. You can perceive your day as being terrible, and you can flip it around and see the positive. You can see the good things. It is all about perspective and perception. What you choose to perceive and how you choose to perceive it. Do you choose to see the glass half full? Or do you choose to see the glass half empty? Or do you simply choose to see the glass? For there is always a choice. You always have the choice. You can see it empty, you can see it full, or you can simply see it as it is, a glass with water in it. You can accept it for what it is, a glass with water in it. Today has been a good day. Today has been a bad day. Today has been a day. With its challenges, its blessings, its experiences. It's a day I'm here on planet Earth. I am living. I am connecting. I am breathing. I am being. We're not necessarily saying glass half full is better than glass half empty, or glass half empty is something that you should change. We are simply saying that it would be beneficial to remove the judgment. Remove the judgment. Because sometimes your judgment creates polarization. And this polarization enhances things. If today has been an extremely good day, and tomorrow is not so great, you begin to compare rather than accept what is. And the point of this channeling is that the most important thing you can do is accept. Accept your day. Accept how it's been. Accept where it's at. Once you've accepted it for what it was, a day, you can start to reflect on the day, what you learned, where you struggled, how you felt. This is important because life isn't about bypassing. It isn't about just shifting your mindset from I've had a bad day to, all these positive, great things happened and I'm going to be grateful for those. It is about acknowledging how you felt. It is about acknowledging all that occurred. When we push past it, when we brush past it, we often overlook some very important elements of our day. How things made us felt, how we reacted, how we responded. Because all of these things that occurred throughout the day are indications and clues to what is going on below the surface. And what is going on below the surface is often a story playing out, a story that is playing out in a way that you can see it, that you can experience it. For when you experience the story playing out, it is easier for you to, we could say, see the story playing out. You have a visible example. It has literally happened to you. You cannot deny it. You cannot say that you made it up. It actually happened. And by living these experiences, we can better gain an understanding of what they all mean, what they are for, what is their purpose. So often we are playing out stories of something going on in our subconscious that needs to be resolved. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be felt. It needs to be accepted. And it needs to be, most importantly, acknowledged. There's so much of our being that we do not accept, acknowledge, or really take the time to sit with, to be with. Our thoughts and feelings is one of these things. For so often we just brush past them because we don't like feeling certain thoughts and feelings. But the truth is, the most important thing we can do is sit and be with those feelings, not to deny them, not to change them, not to feed any more fuel to their fire, but to simply acknowledge them and accept them and realize that they are coming up for a reason. What is that reason? What is that reason? When we can get to the core root of that reason, to the core root of the story playing out, why is the story playing out? Quite often when we get to the core root, we're able to shift it. We're able to acknowledge it. We're able to bring about a deeper understanding. And when we are able to change the story from the root by acknowledging it, by accepting it, by giving it unconditional love, by bringing it some healing, some support, some acknowledgement, so much of that story can then change. It can dissolve. It can simply come back to wholeness, balance, and no longer be a story. It will give way for a new story to start coming out, to emerging when the timing is right. So we want you to take time to look at the stories playing out in your life, the day-to-day stories with your interactions. Is somebody upsetting you? Why are they upsetting you? What's going on underneath the surface? What is buried below the surface? What is that story trying to tell you? What is that story trying to bring to your attention? So often we are asleep, not realizing that the stories playing out in our lives, the struggles, the emotions, that there are more to it than what it actually is. It is a story trying to tell us a story. It is a story within a story. It is just the story playing out in a different way, but it is still the same story. Underneath, it has the same root. Things are changing on this planet. It's becoming easier to get to the root of the story. The first thing we can do is start to observe the stories playing out within our being, within our families, within our friends, within our interactions on a day-to-day basis with people that we know and the people that we don't know. Start observing the stories. Don't judge them, but simply just observe them, accept them, and know that if you are not in a state of peace, of harmony, of flow, and you are having emotions being triggered, if you are feeling a bit upset, if you are having some fear or anxiety, if you are not in that place of total peace and flow and acceptance with the universe, then there is a story playing out. And this story is playing out in order to get your attention. And when you can acknowledge that the story is playing out to get your attention, it is important to pay attention. Pay attention to the story. What is the story trying to tell you? What are the core emotions at the story? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel frustrated? Do you feel angry? Why? What is going on beneath the surface? It's not about the people in your life. It's not about what's happening in the outside world. It is about you. It is your story. You are the one being triggered. You are the one having emotions coming up. You are the one who is feeling how you are feeling. It is your story. So it is important to acknowledge that everyone else is just an actor playing a part in your story. They are playing out the story again so that you can see the story, understand the story that is playing out, and get to the root cause of the story and root it out and heal the story, clear the story, come back into flow, come back into peace, come back into alignment. The first step is acknowledging there is a story playing out. The second step is accepting there is a story. And the third step is to try and understand the story. What's going on with the story? What is the story trying to tell you? When you get to the root of the story, it is most important to bring love, acceptance, and no judgment. Absolutely no judgment to the root of the story. Simply send it unconditional love, acceptance, peace, harmony, and ask the root of this story what it needs from you to come to a place of harmony, balance, and flow, to resolve itself to a place of oneness. These stories are important. They bring lessons. They bring understanding. But more importantly, each time you clear one of your stories, you are changing your DNA. You are changing your behaviors. And you are opening up pathways and gateways within yourself to better connect to others, to better connect to yourself, and to better connect with the universe as a whole. And the more we clear our stories, the clearer our connection becomes to all that is, to the universe. And the clearer that connection becomes, the more we are able to step into our purpose and what we are here to do. We are able to make faster, smoother progress with more grace and ease. And we're able to step into more alignment, abundance, and love. Because the universe is filled with love. And it sends us love in many forms. And the more we can clear our stories, the more we can step into that space of love. Not just experiencing love and feeling love, but being love. By being love, because we are embodying more love. The more we clear those stories, the more we send them our unconditional love. The more these stories resolve and dissolve into unconditional love, the more space we create within our being for unconditional love, to be unconditional love, to be the embodiment of unconditional love, and to radiate unconditional love in the way that we do. For each of us sends out, radiates unconditional love in very different ways. Some people have very motherly, loving energy. And some people, the love comes out in a different form, in a simpler form. But the love is still present. The love is still present. Life is a journey. It is a journey where we get to learn through our experiences, our first-hand experiences. And how amazing and wonderful is that? Because it's like when you go to school and you have to read a book and you have to learn something, perhaps someone else's story, history, what happened in history. It is one thing to read someone else's story and another to live it yourself. And when you are living out a story and you are part of that story, it is a very different experience to reading about it in a book. The knowledge and wisdom we gain is much more deeply embodied and will have much more of an impact when we tell the story, when we share the story, when we impart our wisdom to others that we have gained from the story we have just played out in our lives. It is a blessing to be able to have these stories play out, to receive firsthand experience. And this is the part now where you're probably saying, but I didn't ask for this trauma, for this drama. And we say to you, neither did we. But this isn't about you came here to experience trauma. We're not saying you chose to come here to experience trauma. We're not saying that you're lucky to come here to experience trauma. We are just saying how valuable your first-hand experience is, because you have stories to share. You have stories to share. And these stories are impactful. These stories can help you to learn, to grow, and they can help you to help others. How you work with these stories is varied. You may need to do healing, acceptance, calling in the love of these stories playing out. Or you simply may need to share your story with others, to share your experiences, so that others can find resonance, so that others can know they're not alone, so that others can have support, so that others can feel less afraid. Stories are important, and they have survived history more than anything else. Some of the oldest things we have on this planet are our stories. So what story are you living? What story are you experiencing? And what story are you here to change? What story are you here to learn from, to embody? For every story has a gift, and every story has a challenge, and it's not about the good or the bad. It is about what it is, a story. And when you can accept the story for what it is, a story, your life will change. We thank you for allowing us to share our story. We hope that it will be of benefit and will provide you with an opportunity to reflect on the stories playing out in your life at this time. Know that we support you. to come to a place of understanding of your stories, to get to the root of the story, to resolve the story if it needs resolving, to learn from the story if there's something to learn, to change the story if it needs to change, to embody the story and the gifts, the wisdom, and to share it. Thank you for your time. We send you many, many blessings and all of our love. Good day.